Hello, yogis. Welcome to your yoga practice. My name is Alicia Finley, and I'm so grateful you are here. Today, we are going to do a yoga as healing practice. And for this class, we're going to need one block, two if you prefer it, and then any other props that you like to have, whether you need padding for the knees or things like that, you are welcome to have. But today, for this class, we are going to focus on opening up the heart. Okay, haven't done a heart opening healing class in a while, and there is just a lot going on in the world, um, with Russia, Ukraine, the Oscars. I mean, there is just and those are just public things, and not even counting all of the personal things that we personally may be going um, through in our own lives. And so I want you to take this time, this healing time, to open your heart, and do some poses that maybe can help release any energy that may be stuck. Okay, so we're going to come onto the back. I want you to have your block nearby because we're going to use that shortly. But as you come onto your back, I want you to find any comfortable position you'd like. That could be the soles of the feet together. If you had two blocks, you could even put those underneath your outer legs if you like. You could separate, if you've got some back pain, you could separate your feet as wide as your mat and knock your knees in. You could take regular old Shavasana. So I want you to find a comfortable shape, whatever that looks like for you, for a minute or two as we just get settled. Okay, so let your eyes close if that is comfortable in your body. I came across a teaching. I'm going to call it a teaching or a contemplation recently. And it said, "Do not be dismayed by the brokenness of the world. All things break, and all things can be mended. Not with time, as they say, but with intention. So go. Love intentionally, extravagantly, unconditionally. The broken world waits in darkness for the light that is you." As we practice today, we will practice with an emphasis on remembering that light that lies within us. That our inner body is bright, and allowing our outer body to soften onto that great light. So even as you breathe right now, feel an energy of not only your body breathing, but that there is light to the breath. There is an energetic force that is continuously not only supporting you, but loving you. There is a lot of brokenness in this world right now. There may be a lot of brokenness that you feel personally. And we get to come to the yoga mat to take this time to set an intention. So whether you take a hand and you physically place one hand on your heart, or you just put your attention and your awareness on your heart space, take a moment to set an intention. This is where our healing begins, is with this intention. Good. And then slowly, wherever your legs are, let's please bend your knees. Place your feet to the floor, hip width apart, and take your block. Bring it the narrow way to your upper inner thighs. Take your hands. Now, if you don't have a block, you could use something else. You could use a water bottle. You could even use a towel, something just that you can squeeze, but it is helpful to have something that's a little harder. Outer edges of your feet are parallel, arms are by your sides, and you're going to push down into your feet and inhale, lift your hips up. So I'm squeezing the block as I lift, And I'm taking the tailbone more towards the back of the knees, already starting to open the heart. So let the collarbones broaden. Feel the tops of the shoulders and the back of your upper arms pushing down. And don't forget to keep squeezing that block, pushing down into your feet. And energetically hug your heels back towards your head just a little bit. And as you do that simultaneously again, lengthen the tailbone towards the back of your knees and re-squeeze the block. Good. Now take your arms over your head as you slowly lower the hips down to the ground. Now again, we're going to come up as we inhale, bringing the arms back by our sides. So bring hips up, arms by your sides. Breathe in. Inhale. Feel a slight pause at the top of the breath. And then exhale, slowly lower the hips and take the arms back over your head, allowing the back to arch. Inhale, lift the hips. When you get the top of your breath, take a slight pause, squeeze the block, and exhale, lowering the hips, bringing the arms back over your head. Obviously, the arms have a lot further to go than the hips. Inhale. You're trying to somewhat simultaneously lifting and lowering the hips and the arms together. Lower, exhale. So feeling that control happen through your core to time the sacrum landing down. Last time, breathe in. And this time, if you like, you can interlace your hands underneath your back. Continue to squeeze the block. My inner thighs, I don't know about yours, are starting to get a little tired. Breathing in, one more breath. Opening the heart is tough business. Good. This time, lift on to your tiptoes. The heels are going to come off the ground. Take your arms over your head. Keep them overhead. And slowly, 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 arms are staying overhead. But spine now, you're feeling the articulation of each vertebrae coming all the way down. Ooh, take that block out. Goodness me. Ooh, just give the legs a little shake there. Take your arms into a cactus shape. Keep your right foot on the floor. Extend your left leg so the heel is down, toes point up. Left leg is straight, right leg is bent. You're going to twist. Take your right knee over to the left, and as you do, I want you to straighten the right arm. My right shoulder, it lifts off the ground, but the back of the hand is staying down. I'm on the inner edge of the right foot. The outer edge of the foot is lifting. And then you're going to exhale, come back to center. So often when we twist on an exhale, but this is an open twist, meaning we're not crossing over. It's actually staying open. So we're going to twist on the inhale. So push into your right foot and inhale, stretch the arm as you take your knee over to the left. Inhale, really push into the inner edge of the foot, root the tailbone, and exhale, come back to center. Again, see if you can notice the pause at the top of the breath. Do two more. Breathe in. Breathe out. This time, inhale, breathe in. Good. Now, as you exhale, bend your bottom leg, and I'm going to have my back to you for a moment, but we'll be twisting, and your right leg is going to stack on top. Take your arms out at shoulder height. Now, I might take my mat and you could just roll it, or you could even use your block if you want to. I'm not going to need it, I know, in a moment, but it does feel a little awkward on the neck. Your arms are straight and they're out at shoulder height from your left shoulder. Both knees are bent. You're going to circle your right arm on the ground and open into a twist. So inhale, open, and my arm is trying, or at least the hand, staying down the whole time. And then exhale, circle it back around. Your shoulder will lift off the ground, but the hand is going to graze the ground the whole time. So inhale, open. Exhale. Now I want you to notice the pause at the bottom of the exhale when the hands stack. Again, inhale. Oh, it feels so good on the shoulder. Opening up the heart. Exhale. Last time, breathe in. You're going to stay open in the twist. Breathe in. And just exhale, staying here. Now, if you want a little deeper, you can cross this right knee over the left knee. If you want to take that left hand and let it rest on your outer right leg, that's an option as well. You can keep your gaze to the sky or take your head and look towards your right palm. Breathe into the areas and the spaces that feel tight, that maybe feel sore, that feel restricted. And just even having a moment of gratitude and appreciation that our body is constantly giving us feedback in some way. And the practice gives us this chance to get quiet enough that we can start to hear and feel and listen. Very good. Now let your head come back to the sky. Gently unhook that right leg from the left if they're hooked, and bring the legs back up to neutral, to center. Reposition your pelvis so you feel like you're center. Feet are flat on the floor. Recactus your arms. All right, now we're going to switch sides. So left leg is bent, right leg is straight. We're coming into that twist. So inhale, left knee moving to right, and now its left arm is stretching like somebody's pulling on your wrists on the diagonal. Hand is down, shoulder can be up. And as you exhale, you'll come back down. Both sides of the spine and sacrum, or both sides of the sacrum are on the ground. Inhale. Reach that knee. Exhale. Awareness of the pause between the breath. Inhale. Exhale. Last time. Inhale. Now stay here, and as you exhale, bend your bottom knee and sweep that left arm up and around. Both arms going straight out from your right shoulder, kind of like alligator. Remember, eat 'em up, like that, okay? And now top arm, left arm reaches up and over. It starts to unfurl into this twist. Now if your shoulder, you might feel some kinks as you exhale. Unwind and go back around. Pause at the bottom of the breath. Just notice that space now between exhale before you take that next inhale. Breathing in. This is truly, oh my gosh, it just feels so good on the shoulder. Last time, inhale, open. This time you get to stay. If you wanted to, you could cross your left knee over your right. Take your right hand, hold that outer left leg. Try to melt. Push into your right elbow. Lift your upper back up a little bit and see if you can just twist a little deeper, the upper thoracic spine a little bit to the left so that more of that left shoulder blade can come down. Gaze can be to the sky or towards your left hand. Feeling the energy of both the breath and also the energetic force of that inner light. That there is a radiance about you. Good. Now, if your leg is wound like mine is, let's unhook our legs first. Left knee on top of right. And gently bring your knees back up to center. Ooh, just take a moment. Reach your arms over your head. Breathe in. And one more bridge, but now without the block. Exhale, lift up. Option again. Now, if your shoulders are tight, you can clasp your hands and hold the outer edges of your mat so that your fingers wrap on the underside of the mat and the thumbs are on top. Or if you want to clasp, switch your clasp this time and do your other index finger on top. Lifting the hips up towards the sky, working the outer upper arms in a little closer together, and gently push your head back into the mat so your neck is clear. It's not touching, none of those cervical vertebrae are touching the mat. Remembering the block. The energy of the inner thigh is working a little bit, and the inner thigh is actually releasing down slightly and the tailbone lifting towards the back of your knees. And then heels lift, come onto the balls of the feet, arms overhead one last time. Slowly come down. Good. Now you can either roll to your right side and come up to seated or cross one ankle in front of the other. And maybe you want to take a couple rock and rolls along your spine just because that feels good. If it doesn't, just rock one time, come up to seated. I'll meet you there in just a second. Good. And then up we go. All right. So feet are flat on the floor. Feet are flat on the floor. And I want you to turn your fingertips out so they're about 90 degrees out to the sides, facing to the outer edges of your mat. Good. You're going to roll the outer upper arms back. And we're going to slowly start to lift the hips up, coming to a reverse tabletop. So inhale, slowly coming up. And exhale, slowly coming down. Good. Now, if it's helpful and you want to use that block, you can put it between the knees. So as you come up, it just invites in a little bit more of not just the outer glutes working, but the inner legs working as well. So inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Invite in your Ujjayi breath. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. And we're going to do that one more time. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Good. Now walk your feet just a little bit more forward. Reach your right arm up to the sky. Breathe in and keep squeezing the block if you chose to use it, and bring it to the outside of your left leg. Take your left fingertips, turn them towards the back of your mat or front of your mat, depending, but just away from your body. And get nice and tall here and take a twist. Opening up the left side of the chest, left side of the lung. Good. Take the right arm to the sky. Breathe in. Circle the arm back behind you, and we'll switch. Right fingertips are pointing away from your body. Find your sit bones, left arm to sky. Squeeze your block. And exhale, left arm comes to the outside of your right leg. Draw your chin down a little bit so the back of your neck is long. Taking the twist. Good. And then left arm back up. Exhale, sweep it down. You can take your block out. Just maybe for a moment, a little butterfly for a second. We're going to take the feet even a little bit further forward. And I'm going to have you bring your forearms down to the ground. We're going to push into the forearms. Now I'm going to turn mine out just kind of on a slight diagonal here. It helps open the shoulders. You could even turn your palms up. If your shoulders are a little tighter, you want a little more external rotation, you could turn the palms up. So I want you to push into your forearms and inhale, puff your chest. And then exhale, draw your tailbone, and you're going to feel the flesh of the butt kind of slide down, and your legs will straighten and round the back a little more. Good. Inhale. So it's like you're doing a cat-cow, a little bit on the forearms, but man, feel that broadening across your chest, the deltoids, the pecs, and then exhale. Let your gaze look towards the navel. One more time. Breathe in. Exhale. Good. Now push so you're not as full as you could be, but I want you to let your legs go straight for a moment. And then again, lift up. I like to rotate my palms up. You can look down. You could look up here, just letting the pose be a little bit more symmetrical. Draw your throat back. Good. And then bring your forearms in closer towards your body. Slowly push yourself up. Good. Cross your ankles, and let's come around to tabletop position. Holy cow, I feel like I have not just a new heart, but I have new shoulders too. That's great news. Okay, here we go. Tabletop position. Tabletop position. Knees are underneath your hips. You're going to push down into that left hand. Take your right arm up to the sky as you breathe in. And now as you exhale, I want you to internally rotate. So turn your palm behind you. Start to sweep this right hand to your low back. Look to your right and let your left side of your head rest on that bicep. We'll do that again. Inhale, reach up. So now you're externally rotating. And then internally rotate. Set it back towards a child's pose. And I don't know about you, but I feel a big stretch. I've got some tape on my back, just working some things out with the PT. Inhale, reach. And I can really feel it on that right side. Exhale. Last time, breathe in. Exhale, breathe out. This time you'll take the arm up to the sky, breathe in, and thread that right arm underneath. Right side of your head comes down to the ground. Stretch your left arm forward and come onto your fingertips. And start to walk those fingertips over to the right side. Tip your left elbow up towards the sky a little more. So you can bend your elbow here a little bit. Now, if you wanted to move this left arm into a half bind, you could do that. Taking the arm, and you'll internally rotate it. Left arm will sweep behind your back. Good. Take another deep breath in. Exhale, breathe out. Release your bind if you've got it. Let the left hand come back by your face. Inhale, push into that left arm, reach the right arm up. And exhale, set that right hand down for a moment. Take your left knee and make a little kickstand. Tuck the toes. Put the sole of your right foot to the floor. Take your right arm to the sky. And then pick your right leg up till it's parallel to the floor. Bend the right knee, reach back, and catch your right ankle. Kick your foot back into your hand and start to open up your chest. Good. Breathing in. Now you have to balance it with the tailbone moving forward, because if I just kick back, I'm going to overextend the arch in my lumbar spine. So you have to balance the kick with the tailbone energetically moving forward as you kick your shin back. Good. Now with control, draw your ribs in. Let go of the foot gently. Breathe in. Right hand down, left shin swivels, and right foot will come to the outside of your right hand. Walk your left hand just a hair forward and take your right hand behind your head. Breathe in. Elbow to the sky, right lung to the sky. Exhale, twist. Imagine your right elbow was coming towards your left wrist. Inhale, breathe in. Exhale, breathe out. Inhale, breathe in. Exhale, breathe out. Last time, inhale and exhale. Take the elbow up to the sky, breathe in. Reach the arm to the sky, and then reach the right arm back. Start to pull your hips back a little bit, and before you bend that left leg, I want you to think about it bending. So the hamstring wakes up, and it hopefully will reduce your Charlie horses. Reach back and catch your left foot with your right hand. Turning your chest open. Getting a nice thigh stretch. Now I like to take my gaze here towards my left hand. It just gives a little stretch in my neck. Just be mindful that your head isn't dropping. You always want to keep your head, for the most part, in most poses, it's still in line with the spine. It might rotate on the axis, but it might move a little bit. With control, let go of that foot. And we're going to do Ardha Hanuman, but I want you to keep the sole of your foot down and take the hips back. The front knee might stay bent. You could always grab your block, but I want you to think about your heart opening. And we're keeping the sole of the foot down today as opposed to flexing the foot for the moment. So I just want you to notice that difference. Be okay with the leg not being straight. It's okay if it's not. In fact, I get just as good of a stretch with a bit of a bend here. Feel your heart soften. Can you soften your heart between your two upper arms? And also take the navel towards the back body and slightly up. Good. Rebend into the right leg. Set the hands down. If you used your block, set it off to the side. And just go ahead and do a tabletop shake. So extend that right leg back, shake it out. You could do some hip cars here, just rotating by bending the knee a couple times. One direction and then the other. And then we are going to switch sides. All right? So left hand is going to be the lifting hand. Right hand's down this time. Inhale, reach up. And now you're sitting back towards that child's pose. I'm going to tuck my toes. I just like to stretch the feet. Turn your palm so your back of your hand is touching your back, and let your right side of your head rest here on the bicep. And then come back up. Breathe in. Arm to the sky. Hips over the knees. Exhale. You really have to surrender here. So let go. You can even bring the forearm all the way to the ground if it feels good. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Such a big stretch For the obliques here, inhale the serratus muscles between the ribs. Exhale. This time when we'll go up, inhale, reach, and we're going to thread. Exhale, left arm comes under. Pop up on your right fingertips. Start to crawl the right fingertips a little forward. I still want you to have some range of motion that you can tilt your right elbow up and start to walk the right fingertips over to the left. You'll start to roll a little more towards the back of your head. If you're getting any pain in your neck though, please adjust. Now if you want to bind it, reach the arm to the sky, turn the palm behind you, sweep the arm behind your back and catch your left thigh. Roll that top shoulder back. Sometimes it's helpful if you need more balance. If you cross your left ankle over your right, you might feel a little more stability. If your arm is bound, unbind. Right hand down by your face. Everybody uncross that ankle. Push into the right hand. Inhale, reach the arm to the sky. Exhale, take the hand down. Now we're switching. Right toes. You're going to make a little kickstand. Left foot, sole of the foot to the ground. Reach the arm to the sky. Begin to pick the leg up. Bend the knee, reach back, and catch the foot. Kick your foot back into your hand. Open your chest up. Start to curl your head back if that feels good. Watch the knee just from splaying out. We did all that work squeezing the block. So keep the knee level with the hip as you kick back. Good. And release with control. Breathe in. Left hand down. Right shin swivels behind you. And then use your core to bring left foot to the outside of your left hand. Walk your right hand a hair forward. I'm going to scooch my right knee back a little. Just gives me a little more stretch in that hip. And then our left hand comes behind the head. Open it up. Exhale, coil down. Left elbow toward right wrist or forearm. Breathe in. Now watch if you're sinking into that shoulder. You have to push into that hand. The bottom hand, exhale. Inhale. And this is that thoracic rotation. So you definitely might feel a little more stiff here. Breathe in. Exhale, breathe out. Reach the arm to the sky. Inhale. And now back off your lunge a little bit and start to sweep this left arm back behind you. Think about your right leg bending so the hamstrings start to wake up, and then bend that back leg and catch the foot. Twisted monkey. Rotate the chest open. Now, if you're right on that kneecap, it's not very fun. You're trying to get in front of that kneecap. You can also pad the knee here if you need a little more cushion under that bottom leg. Let go of the foot with control. Sweep the left hand to the ground. That left foot, it's going to stay to the outside of the hands, but do walk your hands back. Keep the sole of your foot on the ground and straighten the left leg a little or a lot. As opposed to your back rounding today, I want you to send your heart forward, which may mean you're going to bend the knee in the left leg a little more. Stretch the heart forward. Draw the navel in and slightly up. And feel an energy of just being humble, right? Just surrendering. And I believe that energy is the energy that helps our light shine just that much brighter. To be able to love more unconditionally, extravagantly. Good. And then slowly rebend into that left leg. Set that block out of the way. Step that left foot back. Take a moment to pause. And we're going to lower all the way to the belly. Exhale. All right, so go ahead and stack your hands one on top of the other. And let your forehead rest on the back of the hands. And if you like, you can take a moment and just let your hips wiggle out. So just wiggle out a little bit side to side. So we're going to make the back work here just a little bit, the posterior chain of the body, and then we're going to do some really great stretches as well, okay? So let your hands come out from underneath the forehead, and I want you to take your right hand to the back of your head and your left hand to your low back. Your forehead's on the ground, and it's going to stay on the ground the whole time. Now, take your hands and let them hover off the back and off the head. Stretch the arms straight. So the right arm's going to stretch forward. The left arm's going to stretch toward your toes. And start to rotate the arms out to the side so that now your left arm is forward and your right arm's alongside your hip. Start to bend the arms so they're hovering again right where you started, but now it's the opposite. And this is my harder side. So my right hand hovering off the back. That is super challenging in my body. So we're going to inhale, straighten the arms. And exhale, circle the arms so right arm is forward. Bend the elbows. Inhale and hover the hands. Exhale, straighten the arms. Sweep the arms. Breathe in. Exhale, bend the arms. They're hovering the whole time. Breathe in. Exhale, straighten the arms. Circle the arms. Switch the direction. Breathe in. Exhale, bend the arms. Last time. Inhale here. Elbows are bent. Exhale, straighten the arms. Inhale, circle the arms. Exhale, bend the elbows. So good. Okay, relax. If relax to you means I'm going to keep mine by my sides and bring a cheek to the mat. If you'd rather stack your hands, you can. Woo. Good. Bring your other cheek to the mat. If you're switching cheeks, if your hand's on top, switch your hands. Good. And now you're going to take your left arm out like a T, your right hand into cobra. I want you to lift up into a baby cobra. My left hand is straight out at my shoulder height. My right hand's in cobra. Good. Now lift your right leg as you come up. So your left leg will stay down, but I want you to lift your right leg like a Shalabhasana. Lift, and now push with this right hand and start to open as you exhale, reaching this right leg back. So you're coming onto your left side. If you need to look for a time or two, and then you can join. And then we're slowly going to come back to the belly as you exhale. Both legs down. Do it again. Now you're going to inhale, lift up. Push with the hand as you exhale, roll onto your left side. Take an extra breath. Start to reach this top leg, the right leg back as you breathe in. Exhale, wind back to the belly, forehead to the ground, right foot down. Do it one more time. Lift. So it's like this kind of funky Shalabhasana cobra. Push with the hand. Exhale, rotate to the side. Let your head come down here. Inhale, reach that leg back. Now you're going to stay here for a few extra breaths. If you want to bend this top leg now and set the foot behind you, you can. If you want to take the right arm up to the sky and reach back behind you and see if you can clasp your hands. I cannot. Where your palms are pushing out, they're pushing away. So instead of turning your palms into each other, keep them pushing away and see if you can clasp your hands. Stay another breath. Very good. Now, if your hands are clasped or you've got the arm reaching, I want you to bring that right hand back into cobra. And exhale, unwind. Now we're going to do one more for that shoulder. So just wiggle out your shoulders for a moment. Left arm, I want you to bring it into a cactus shape. Now, if you're tighter, this is going to be a lot, and this one might be too much, and you may have to go back to the one we just did and just stay a couple more breaths. Right hand in cobra. You're going to start to roll onto the left side again. And I'm going to keep my right leg straight and just reach it back. If you're more comfortable bending the knee, that's way too much for my shoulder. And it gets into your rotator cuff, so it's a different part. You're getting a little bit more into different areas of the shoulder girdle. I feel it more in my rotator cuff or under the armpit area. You may not. You may feel it more across the collarbones, maybe across the deltoid, the top of the front of the shoulder there. Good. And then slowly unwind. All right. I know none of us are on computers or anything, so I know that you probably don't need this practice that much, but it might be good to come back to it once in a while. Oh my goodness. Okay, gently sweep very carefully that left arm back. Oh goodness. Noticeable difference, left to right side. Okay, let's repeat. So left hand is in cobra now. Folks, right hand is coming out to the right like a T. Push into that hand. We're going to inhale, lift up into that cobra as you do. Let your left leg come up. So my head is up here and push with the left hand. And as you start to roll on the exhale, then you're going to let your head come down and you can tap if you want that left foot behind you. Slowly straighten the leg, wind back down, forehead down, and we repeat. So push into the hand, inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, roll. Taking that extra breath, reach the leg back, inhale or even bend and tap the toe. Exhale, roll back. We've got one more. Lift left leg, lift head and chest. Exhale, push with the hand, the head comes down. Stay for an extra breath, breathe in and exhale. Good, now we're going to come into it. Inhale, push with that left hand. Again, let your head come down. You could always use a pillow or blanket. And now step that left foot if you want behind you. Now it's left arm. This is optional. Comes to the sky. Reach it back. Reach it back. And you may just end here, right? Just like I am, where you're coming to the point where, holy cow, it really opens up the front of the right shoulder. But don't just think about the shoulders. Think about the heart, that you are making more space for the heart. And that each pose can become an offering to open your heart. And then bring that left hand, wherever it is, back around. Step the left foot back. Now just take a moment. Let that right shoulder just wiggle it out a little bit. And now cactus the arm. Again, if it's too much, and each side is very different in the shoulders. Listen to your body. So you're making a cactus. The right elbow is in line with the right shoulder or even a hair higher. Left hand is by your side. And you can just start to roll. Now, you may not even get all the way onto the side. You might be able to just push with your left hand and get a really good stretch. But those of you that can come onto your side, you can come onto your side. And again, I just like to swing, not really swing, but just gently let that left leg drift behind me. This side, maybe I can bend the leg. Maybe the toes can tap down. You might find you get more stretch with the legs straight and more reaching back. Push into your right palm. Yes, push into the palm. Soften the right side of your chest down a little more. Let the right rib cage melt into the earth a little bit deeper. Okay, yogis, slowly come back around. Whew, gently slide your right arm back by your hip. Let those shoulders shake out a little bit. Very good. And then hands will come by your sides. Let's just take a cobra. And if you want to do a higher cobra on the fingertips, but just again, something symmetrical, and inhale, rise up. If you want to lean a little bit side to side, I'm on the fingertips. Again, you could be doing cobra. You could even do up dog if you want to. Just take an extra breath. Inner body light, and the outer body softens onto this light that lies within us. Slowly roll down. Place your hands by your sides. Come up to tabletop. Cross your ankles. And we're slowly going to come around to seated for a seated figure 4. All right, a seated figure 4. Okay, I had to get the mic back in there. Okay. All right, so feet flat on the floor. I'm going to face you. You can just face forward. Right ankle, let's cross it above the left knee. Right ankle crosses above the left knee. Flex your top foot. Good. And lift your chest. So it's really easy here to kind of get back on the tailbone and the back to round. Walk your hands in. I find it helpful to turn my fingertips away from me and see if you can walk yourself up enough that you get onto your sit bones. Another thing that's really helpful is if you have a wall, scoot yourself back. Oh my goodness. It's humbling. Okay. It's almost feels impossible in my body, although anything's possible. I have to scooch my left foot further forward to get my whole spine up on the wall. So if you had a wall, scooch you back. Whew. Now, if you don't, it's okay. Take a couple deep breaths. Now, I am going to scooch away just a little because I want to add a little twist in for us. So go ahead, if you are on the wall, go ahead, scooch away a little bit. Still turn your fingertips out, and you're going to take your legs over to the left, and you're going to twist your shoulder and your upper torso to the right as your legs go left. Now, you could stay here if you want to hook your left elbow around this outer right leg and push the outer leg down into that forearm and feel like you're trying to pick it up at the same time while also adding in that twist. It is, oh my goodness, like makes you squeal, kind of a hip opener. As we get more into alignment in our practice, then our energy shifts, right? When our energy shifts, we can feel that light. We can feel that radiance. Good. Now, unwind your torso. Bring your legs back to center and sweep your right leg back into kind of a half hero. Let the sole of your left foot come onto your right inner thigh. My right sit bone's up. We're going to twist the other way, a little counter twist. Left hand's behind you. Right hand is on left knee. And inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, turn and twist your torso left. The more you lift the heart. There is brokenness in the world. And we all have things within ourselves that at some point we are working through healing. And I like how that author said it, that it doesn't necessarily heal with time, it heals with intention. Good. And then slowly come back around. Now gently bring that right leg back around. Cross your right shin in front of your left shin. I'm going to use my block. I'm going to bring it in front of me. We're in Sukhasana. The shins are crossed midpoint. The feet are underneath the knees. We're going to clasp our hands behind our back. Push your knuckles down into the mat. Lift your heart. And exhale, start to fold forward. Now I use the block because, and you can heighten it any height you need. And if your hips are tight, you may not be able to get to the block. It might just be a little bit of a hinge. But those of you that come down, you can start to stretch your knuckles up. You can even lean a little bit side to side. So just take a breath or two here in the shoulder opener. And then release the shoulder opener. Let your forearms come down to the ground. It's going to take time as we do this practice to connect to that space, that energy within us, where we can access the love, where we can access sometimes the kindness. But the broken world waits in darkness for the light that is you, recognizing that our light is changing lives. Now, if you're not feeling enough in this hip opener, you could take a double pigeon, crossing your right shin on top of your left shin. Last 4 breaths. So if you need a double pigeon, flexing the feet, same general setup. A little harder to keep the heart open. I feel my upper back wanting to round here. So the more that you can, stretch your heart forward and surrender the heart towards the earth, allowing it again to release between your 2 upper arms. And gently begin to come up. And exhale, set the feet to the floor, and let's just take a couple windshield wipers side to side. All right, I'm going to slide myself back to the wall for the first couple breaths. We're going to take that figure 4 second side. Left ankle crosses above your right. There's my lumbar back, the lumbar spine against the wall. There it is. Now you can scooch that right foot away as much as you need to. But what I notice is that my lumbar spine is like flush to the wall where I've lost the curve. So can you start to draw the head of your upper arms back if you are using the wall and get a little of the lumbar spine to actually come away so you get the natural curve in the back, and you're going to feel how that translates into your outer hip. It will translate into intensity. That's what will happen. Okay, I'm going to scooch away enough that I can have my hands turned away from me, and now the leg is twisting and going right as my upper body is twisting left. I'm going to hook the elbow again. I'm going to take that right arm and hook it around the left leg. Now, if you needed more height, you could put I don't, but if you did, you could put it under your left hand. Imagine that you're using this arm to pull the leg up, and at the same time, you're pushing your outer left leg down into that forearm. Do you feel that? If you do nothing, you'll feel less. If you can balance just a little bit of that engagement without over-efforting, that's the key. Don't over-effort it. Don't be muscling it your way through, but just feeling that balance of pushing down with the leg, lifting up with the arm, and spine is tall. Good. Slowly unwind. Use your hands to gently sweep that left leg behind you. Slide the sole of your right foot to your left inner thigh and right hand behind you. Take your left hand to your outer right knee. You can allow that back sit bone to lift. We're getting a big internal rotation here, external rotation on that right leg, and notice the side stretch to open the heart here through, well, really both sides of the spine, but really feel it on that right side. And then unwind. Take the left leg, cross it in front of the right. We'll clasp the hands. We're going to take our second index finger, meaning the other one, on top. Push the knuckles down. Inhale, lift the chest. And exhale, fold. So if you wanted to take that block, and again, forehead down. You can rock it out side to side a little bit. And then forearms down. Option to take fire log pose, Agni Stambhasana, double pigeon, flexing the feet. Keep the heart open. So I came back up, I took the double pigeon, but now I'm not going quite as deep. Because the focus here in this pose, although it's an intense hip opener, is actually to keep the heart open as you work with the intensity, right? How hard is that in our life to be able to keep our heart open as we're feeling the intensity of a moment, especially a difficult moment? And yet remembering that in our life, all things at some point, they change or they break. And yet we can begin to heal through intention. So to go love intentionally, extravagantly, and unconditionally. Because the broken world waits in darkness for the light that is you. Start to walk yourself back up. And again, gently set your feet to the floor and just rock them a little bit, the knees side to side. Let's go ahead and just bring the soles of the feet together. Butterflies will feel good. If you'd prefer a wide-legged straddle, you could take that too, okay? So do whichever one feels good. And let's just take a couple breaths to fold. You can use that block if you like. Good, and then slowly come up and take the block out of the way. Now I'm going to give two options. You could either take Shavasana or you can sit up, and we'll do just a couple minute of a meditation, which you can also do laying down. If you're going to take Shavasana and you would like to add in a little bit of a heart opener, you could take your mat and give it a bit of a roll so that it rolls up about halfway, not too much, but just enough that you feel a little bit of something, and then lay it so that it's basically right under the bottom tips of the shoulder blades, so that when you come down, it's not a lot. You could use a blanket, but I didn't have you get that prop specifically. And it's just a very, you can see I didn't even roll mine very much, and it's not even a tight roll. I don't want it to be a giant heart opener. I just want it to be a little energetic pressure to remind us to stay open. So you can do that. I'm going to sit up in meditation, but do whichever one feels good and start to find your way there. I'm just going to be here just a couple minutes, just like it's Shavasana, and some of you it is Shavasana. Let your hands rest on your legs if you're seated. If you're laying down, turn your palms up. And if you're seated and you'd like, you can take your palms and turn them up. Allow your elbows, if you're seated, to rest under the shoulders. And if you're in Shavasana, really allow yourself to surrender. Even push into the elbows a little bit in your Shavasana and wiggle your outer upper arms in just to feel a little bit more openness across the heart, and then relax. Now as we rest, we'll use an affirmation, a reminder that my light is changing lives. That author said, "The broken world waits in darkness for the light that is you." And I'm reminding you that your light is changing lives. And we need these yoga practices so that we can come more into alignment with who we really are. So as you rest in Shavasana, or you rest in your meditation, and your mind begins to drift, as all minds do, I want you to anchor yourself in the mantra, "My light is changing lives." The affirmation, "My light is changing lives." And as you say these words, begin to feel an energetic connection, as though there is a golden flame of light in your heart space. And as you say the words, the light begins to shine a little bit more bright. My light is changing lives. My light is changing lives. My light is changing lives. Continue with the mantra for a couple of minutes. Go ahead and take one hand and begin to place it over your heart, saying the mantra again, my light is changing lives. Allow your outer body to soften onto these words of truth. If you're laying down, you can stretch your arms over your head, gently rolling onto your right side. Take your time as you come up to seated. Let's fold the hands in together into Anjali Mudra. I know that there is healing that we need to do collectively as a shared humanity. There's healing that we need to do in relationships in our lives. And for many of us, the deepest healing begins within our own selves. There is a light within you that is changing lives, and that the darkness that is happening in the world needs the light that lies within each of us. So as you draw thumbs to third eye, it is with deep gratitude that I say thank you for taking this time to open your heart and to practice today. Namaste. Thank you, friends. Thank you for joining me. Make sure that you subscribe and like this video. And I would love to hear about your healing. If you want to share in the comments, you certainly can. And until next time, thank you. Have an amazing day.